Hey there, Captain Richard Hajecki, and today I want to do a walkthrough video on my Smokercraft Phantom that we picked up this summer. We've spent a lot of time rigging it for the way we fish, and I want to show you guys the final product. We'll start with the power package on the back of the boat. We went with Mercury outboards. I've run this boat with both Mercury and Yamaha. The boat performs great with both engines. This is a Mercury 175 Pro XS, and I've got it paired with a 9.9 Pro kicker. This is one of the reasons I went the Mercury route. With the Pro kicker, you have an EFI option. We fished this boat in a lot of cold weather, so having the EFI here, it's a lot easier for me to get this thing started than with a carbureted engine. As I mentioned earlier, we fish a lot in the wintertime, and in the winter up here in New York, we've got a lot of salt on the roads. So we picked a galvanized trailer to put underneath this boat so that we don't have to worry about the salt ruining a steel painted trailer. You can order this with a painted trailer if you'd like, and if you only ran the boat during summer months. But we went with the galvanized trailer, and you can see you get some pretty cool rims with that as well. All right, so let's start in the bow of the boat. We've got our brand new Minn Kota Tarova Quest trolling motor up front. This is a brushless trolling motor that can be run in 24 volt or 36 volt. And it has the brand new advanced GPS, which I'll get into in a little bit. If you look down here, we've got two 36 volt lithium batteries from ProGuide. These are brand new for me. I'm used to running lead acid batteries. I went with the 36 volt lithiums for a few reasons. The biggest being weight. So I'm saving a ton of weight up here, not having 3 lead acid batteries. I'm also almost doubling the battery capacity that I had before with 3 12 volt batteries in series. So these two 36 volt batteries are in parallel. I've got a huge battery bank. I've been using this boat to troll at 1.5 miles to 2 miles an hour over the last few weeks walleye fishing with customers. I haven't even turned the kicker on. I've just been using the trolling motor. In 6-7 hours on the water, I still have 55 to 60% of my battery left. So maybe it was overkill, but when we do have to utilize the trolling motor a little more or crank up the speed a little bit, I know I'm going to have plenty of power. Okay, now let's talk about the advanced GPS on these new Quest trolling motors. So everyone's very familiar with Spot Lock. They've been on iPilot trolling motors for quite some time. So we've got the Spot Lock. We also have Autopilot, which I use all the time because most of the fishing we do is trolling. So I tell the trolling motor which direction I want it to go in, and it keeps my boat going in that direction. Cruise control is another one that has been on the iPilots for a while, and I use that quite often. But cruise control, I basically tell the trolling motor how fast I want the boat moving. It keeps the boat moving there by increasing and decreasing the prop speed, and it's one less thing I have to worry about. The new feature with the advanced GPS that we get now is called drift mode. So if we are drifting for walleye on Oneida Lake or for perch or whatever, however you're fishing, and you are drifting with drift socks, you no longer have to utilize a drift sock. You can tell the trolling motor the direction you want it to drift, the speed you want to drift at, and it'll take care of the rest. So now you can get back there and you can hang out with your customers, you can help them put more fish in the boat, or you can just put more fish in the boat yourself if you aren't chartering, but it's a great feature on these new trolling motors. All right, so now we're sitting at the helm of the Smokercraft Phantom, and I decided to go with a pair of units up here. Right now I've got Helix 9s. I've got some new stuff coming here shortly, and I'll do a video when we get that mounted on the helm of this boat. These units are networked with the trolling motor. They're networked with the downriggers in the back of the boat. They'll be networked with the fish hawk when I get that installed. These units have side imaging, down imaging, and chirp sonar, and I'm also running Lake Master map. You can see over here I've got a cradle for my autopilot remote. I can take that out and bring it to the back of the boat if I need to. Otherwise, it's got a home right here out of the way, and you know, I can utilize it right there. I had a couple of these dummy gauges on the dash here. I found a cool product from Sea Dog, which allows me to have a USB-C and a USB charging port. So now I can charge my phone. Customers can charge their phone. That was a cool little deal that I found online. So I took out one of the dummy gauges and put that in there. That's about it for the helm here. All right, so now we're in the back of the boat where a lot of the equipment that we utilize when we're fishing is located. We'll start back here with our Canon Optimum downriggers. Like I mentioned earlier, they're networked with our Humminbirds up front, and they're networked with our fish hawks. We have all our fish hawk data on our downrigger display back here. That helps us be a little more successful. You'll see here we've got our Canon tracks utilizing these brackets made by Burt's so that we can use the track that's integrated into the side of the boat. So we've got these brackets here. It's very rigid. We've got our Canon dual axis rod holders in here, and just up from there we've got a set of trees from fine-tuned welding. We like our quad tree setup. We run 4 rods on either side when we're planer board fishing. We can put our net in here, or you can see here we've got our net in this one rod holder that's just forward of the quad tree. The cool thing about these is I had them add this little tool and lure holder on the back side, and all you do is loosen that T handle, and when you're running back and forth to the dock, your rods are facing forward. This way your customers and people can get off the boat here, and it keeps this all open. You come down here, we've got some planer board holders. These are from Fishing Addiction. I've got 3 on either side of the boat, and they actually make one for tools too. So on the last boat I would just kind of stick my pliers in a hole that was in the back deck. This allows me to keep all different types of pliers, my Fish USA shears, which come in handy all the time, and everything's back here nicely and within reach. So we net a fish, we're back here fishing. Very easy to grab the pliers. They're not sitting somewhere else where you know, we have no idea where they're at. We also added some cup holders here. These are from Burt's as well, and they utilize that same integrated track in the boat. A lot of times these ones back here end up having lures in them, like this for example. Our drop weights fit in there. Lures that we are taking off fit in there. Just they're a catch-all when a coffee mug's not sitting inside there. So that's kind of how we've set the back of the boat up. The nice thing is with these brackets is we didn't drill any holes in the boat, so if we don't like the way this is set up, we can move it. We can take it off, and we don't have holes sitting in the boat for the next person that buys the boat from us. All right, so one of my biggest concerns when I was purchasing this boat is where am I going to store all the rods? When we're out there trolling, we have a lot of rods. We've got rods that are for different purposes: downrigger fishing, dipsy diver fishing, planer board fishing. So you got a lot of rods when you're a troller. And I was pleasantly surprised when I started putting rods in the boat. You have these rod holders that they give you on either side that hold 3 rods. The nice thing is if you double them up, you can put 6 rods in these separate rod holders. But I also found out that this ledge down here offers quite a bit of room. So right now I've got 6 trolling rods sitting on this ledge. Some of them are broken down because they're 2-piece rods. Some of them are telescopic rods that are folded in. But I've got 6 rods sitting here. I can have another 6 inside these rod holders you can easily fit 10 to 12 rods in this area on either side of the boat. So that gives you quite a bit of room for rod storage. And these rods stay here. They don't bounce out. I trailer the boat with the rods here, and I've had no issues with the rods leaving this little shelf. And there's a lip here, so they're not going to really go anywhere. But rod storage is not a huge concern for me on this boat anymore. I know I can carry 15 to 20 rods, and they're out of the way. If you're not carrying this many rods, this is also a great area for when you are fishing, say you're drifting. You can lay your rod down here when you're moving from spot to spot, so it's got a place to go where it's not bouncing around on the floor or the back of the boat. All right, so let's go over some of the storage outside of the rod storage on this boat. They come standard with one of these bench seats. I opted to get a second one. So in this one, I've got my tool bag and all of my life jackets. This side right here has got a little bit of everything. I've got fenders, dock lines, extra planer boards in here, drift socks just in case I need one. You can see there's quite a bit of room inside of here to throw whatever you need. Moving forward, we've got this in-floor storage right here. There's still room left in there, but we've got plenty of 3,700 boxes in there with lures. I think I even had my 5-year-old get in there just to show how much room you can fit things, or how much room there is to fit things in there. So there's quite a bit of storage right there on the floor. Over here on the side, we've got a little compartment that's a pretty decent size. You can, a lot of times what I'll do is when I take my rod socks off, I'll shove them inside here. But you've got a nice little glove box there. You've got a nice glove box here. I keep a lot of my terminal tackle and leader line and stuff like that in here, paper towels. And then on these Phantoms, you've got this shelf right here. So you can see I've got extra planer boards there as well. I've got the canvas boot for the bimini there. A lot of times when I take my screen covers off, I'll throw them underneath there. And then down here on the floor, you've got this little compartment. I haven't figured out what I want to put in there yet, but on either side of the boat, you've got these little compartments in the floor, and you've got these shelves. This thing right here is a pretty comfortable footrest when you are driving. But you've got quite a bit of storage there. And then the last storage compartment that you have is right up here in the bow. You've got a little bit of storage up here for just about anything. You could probably throw an anchor up there, or some life jackets, or a throw cushion. And then lastly, the live well. This has got a really big live well in it. I've got some videos out there. I mean, easily fit 20 walleye in there. Really nice live well. Lots of room. All right, so you can see that we went with the canvas enclosure. This is the fisherman's top. We've got the complete enclosure, and there are 3 panels back here that drop down so that you can stick a heater in here, which I plan on doing come wintertime to keep everybody nice and warm. One of the cool things that this boat has is this little door right here. So this door closes, and when you close the walk-through windshield and zipper it down, you've got a full enclosure inside here. You've got no wind coming in here. The greatest thing about this is on the last boat I had a bow cover, and to stow and deploy that trolling motor, I had to undo that bow cover to go up front and put it in the water. I don't have to worry about a bow cover now. I can keep that completely open, and this is blocking all the wind from coming in here when we're cruising down the lake in the middle of winter and it's 32 degrees outside. Put the heater up here on the step, and everybody in here can hang out and be comfortable. This boat comes standard with these 2 captain's chairs. They slide, they also swivel. These benches are movable. You don't have to secure them down, but the chairs swivel. You can swivel them back another 90 degrees, put your feet up on the bench, and watch the rods, which is real comfortable when the fishing is slow. But that's pretty much a walkthrough of this Smokercraft Phantom. There's a lot of great boats in the Starcraft lineup, but the way we fish, We troll most of the time. Lake Ontario, we're trolling for salmon and trout. Oneida Lake, we do a lot of walleye trolling. Looking to get into doing some Lake Erie fall trolling down in Ohio in the upcoming seasons. So we do quite a bit of trolling in this boat. I needed a boat that had a lot of room in the back of the boat. And if you've followed our Facebook page, you can see that we've been 3 wide back there battling fish. So even with the canvas down, you've got a ton of room in the back of this boat. This boat, I believe, is 20 foot 5 inches long. It's got a beam of 98 inches, and it weighs about 1,800 pounds. I can carry 52 gallons of gas, and these engines really do sip gas. I really haven't burned a ton of gas. Now, that being said, like I said earlier, I've been using my Minn Kota trolling motor most of the time trolling just because I have the battery capacity to do so. I'm a lot quieter and stealthier, and I haven't really had to run that engine. Being it's a new engine, I don't want to run it at idle for a long time before it's broke in. So with the speeds we're trolling for walleye, I'd be running that engine at idle. So not having to turn that on, I haven't been going through a ton of gas, which is great. Thanks for watching, guys, and stay tuned. We'll have plenty of more fishing reports coming up in the near future.